see how someone could be confused. Without this woman, the honest truth is we wouldn't have a recruitment drive. I'm going to introduce the teams that we've got out on recruitment later, but let's introduce up the person that's going to be specialising in the social media side of it this year, who has been organising our recruitment drive, calling all the universities, and who is going to be having a lot of contact time with all of you. So if you don't know her already by the end of the day, shake her hand, give her a hug. She's lovely. It's the one and only Sharon. Ladies.
Thank you for the introduction, Willie. This was a very good one. To pick that. So, before I start talking to you about our social media campaign today, I thought we'd do something different. You know, at Champions we love a good competition, so I came up with one for you. I'm going to show you a picture, and I'd like for you to caption that picture. I want you to do that on a piece of paper and pass it to the end, which is going to collect them. And at the end of the day, the best caption is going to be on our social media page.
Rip it, get a bit of paper ready.
You have 30 seconds to write down your caption and pass it to the next. Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1.
Go.
What has Claire just said to end?
It's got to be PG.
No, it doesn't. But it's probably not going to go on social media if it's not PG.
And
No, go back to the picture. People need to be inspired by how shit myself. Ed, can you remember what she said to you? It is totally not PG. Al Brown's got a little bit red with embarrassment. He's just overheard what Claire's said. It's just so see that dude being really seedy. Oh yeah. Do I pass them down to the ends of your row once you're done? End of your row. You might want to fold them up and put your initials on as well, folks, because I can't reward people unless I know the initials.
That's genuine.
After this break, tweedle in, tweedle
if
down.
you can't think of anything, try to focus on Ed's face. Like, that's the highlight for me.
I want to write down the one I did. No. Best foot forwards and all that, chaps. Right, you've got 30 seconds.
Right now. Yeah.
Where are your initials? That's good. I like it. You can't think, why do we charge about social media?
I lost my
Really? Give it back to me, James.
Do you name on it? Pull that sick check in. That's the sort of thing that I'd expect from a rookie like that. Come on folks, end of the row, this Sumi stretches so far. Yeah. We had a day where everything went to plan. It's alright.
It's a Thursday or Friday,
Awesome. So now I'm going to move on to talk about the campaign itself. The title of our social media campaign this year is called Sharing is Caring. Does anyone want to maybe elaborate a bit more on that? Like, why we would choose something like sharing is caring? No? Rob Edwards.
Sharing is caring. So obviously, for the Champions Facebook page, the more people we can get to, the better for us, especially recruitment. People know where we're actually going to be and what we're doing there, because at the moment, as you guys know, a lot of people don't really know what Champions is about itself. So the more you guys can share, the more the brand gets out there, and obviously the more recruitment we can do.
Absolutely right. So just to give you a bit more information on the social media platforms that we use, I'm sure most of you already know this. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and recently Instagram. So if you're not currently following us, that's something that you might want to...
You might write that down, folks. That's an action point.
And obviously the objectives of this whole campaign is to get more people attending information meetings while we're recruiting at universities, and to also get, not just to get people to our social media pages, but to keep them there with original content and to make sure that, you know, everyone knows about Champions, hence sharing is caring. And also, this is a chance for you guys to be involved and own a part of Champions. Champions is you guys, we are all champions, so that's something that we want to keep going. And how we've designed this and how it's going to happen is we've designed 2 different posts that you guys will be involved in sharing. So the first type of post that we've designed is an investor-specific post. The investor-specific post will be shared while the recruitment guys are on campus. So every morning before an information meeting, the post will go out, it will come from me, and then you guys will share it. And the other type of post is a prospecting post. This one will go out a week before the recruitment guys are on campus, any campus. Like the first one's going to go out today, hopefully, because the recruitment guys are starting next week. So I'll be doing that, and obviously you guys need to share it. So this is an example for your investor-specific post. The investor-specific post will have the today on it. So it will say, let's say Cardiff University and Reading University, our recruitment team is on campus today, blah, blah, blah. All the information about the meeting, the room, the date, everything will be on there. And all you have to do is share it. And the prospecting email will say, post, sorry, yes. The prospecting post will say next week. So that's a post that goes out before the recruitment team are on campus. And this is just to highlight, this is just to highlight the roles and responsibilities for everyone. Obviously from the head office point of view, I'll be designing the post, and every post will have on it the link to our website for people to apply. And once I put up that post, you guys have to share it. So once you share it, we will get more likes and more online applicants coming from different social media platforms, Facebook, E4S, and Twitter. So that's how it's going to work. And obviously, like I said, we love a good competition. So we're going to be introducing a new competition. It's called Manage of the Drive. Oh, let me know if I'm going too fast. And the rules of this competition are the person with the most attendees to the information meeting wins, and this will be judged every month. And that's the prize. £30 cash voucher for food. Or anything that you want to buy, alcohol.
Booze.
Yes. Yes, so if there's anything that I want you guys to take away from today is the fact that we're a really big family, and in order for us to spread the word about what we do, who we are, and how proud we are of Champions, we need to share. So remember guys, sharing is caring. In all aspects of life. Thank you. I'm going to pass over to Woody.
I don't know how do they jump? How do you jump? it someone that likes your post and then they come to it?
Right, so to clarify, what are the two types of posts that were mentioned? Give me one of them. It's a prospecting post. So instead of me having to come up to you on campus, face to face, and saying, hey, you need an internship. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, you've got Cardiff University, believe me, you need an internship. I'm a joke. But it's a different way of doing things. Now, how it's judged is we will have a thing online to see, and it will just be simply annotated into our website, into the online application form. How did you find out about this? There is already a thing up there, but they will literally be able to write Vicky Farrell Facebook post. They'll be able to write Checking Patel Facebook post. And it's simple. How many friends do you have on Facebook? Just give me a rough figure. Okay. Who here has more than 1,000 friends on Facebook?
I do, because I am so popular.
That's the simple truth, is in this room, if I were to take a rough estimate, just on the fact that 7 people put up their hands with 1,000 friends, does anyone in this room have less than 500 friends on Facebook? Just Bradley, because everyone hates him.
Help me out, mate! I'm only little!
Sorry, mate.
Alright, God,
Just better than you.
Okay, but the bottom line of it is, if we send something out and you guys share it, that means that we are hitting over 35,000 students who are mostly the right age. I doubt many of you know that many 30-year-olds. It's my wider part. So they're my age, just to clarify, but that sounded seedy. So, that means we can hit 35,000 students with 39 shares. Does anyone think that's too much work? And I want to say this: does anyone feel like we're asking them to sell their Facebook page? It's not a threatening jab, I think. I'm just asking. Good. Because I'll be really honest with you, we're not. We would like you to do this. It's easy. It's an easy way of us finding like-minded students to add to the 340. And you know what? That means that you will have a hand, however small, in building the future of this family. And it's very simple. If you didn't want to be here, gents, if you didn't want to be here, you wouldn't be. If you didn't like what we were trying to do, you wouldn't be here. If you didn't think, this is worth my time, you sure as hell wouldn't say that anyone else should do this program, because as we all know, our personal time is far more valuable than anybody else's. The bottom line of it is if you care about this company, you're going to want people to do it. And all you have to do is click share on a bi-weekly post. I hope that's written down, because that is one of the roles and responsibilities for recruitment. It's a bi-weekly post that comes out, the prospecting that you click share on. We aren't coming to all of your universities, but for those of you whose universities we are going to, you also be responsible for sharing the university-specific post, because that doesn't get us online applicants, that gets us targeted people. Maybe Toys stumbled in, like the geezer that he is, to their lecture theatre early that day. Maybe they go home forgetting all about it, but then they sit down, they get on Facebook, because, you know, that's what students do. And then they see that post and actually think, shit, that sounded really good, let's go back to that. It's layered marketing, and it's very simple. You are now an ambassador for this programme, for this company, and for this internship. That is why, if we go back to what I said at the very start of today, the way you dress when you turn up for today is important. The way you carry yourself. If you go on a night out and you're doing shots off men's belly buttons checking, and you're like, Champions Life Academy, yeah. Someone then can Google us and say that Champions Life Academy endorses Jack and Patel doing shots off men's belly buttons. Save it for Tenerife, Jackie. You seedy man.
It wasn't his idea.
Huh?
It wasn't his idea.
It wasn't his idea. I heard that. The bottom line of it is, that's one of the ways that you can get involved. And now I want to tell you about some of the skills you can get. So by the end of it, you should know, and you might want to quickly write this down, because if it's not clear by the end of it, you're going to want to ask me questions. The skills you gain from doing a recruitment drive, or from being involved in a recruitment drive. You're going to want to know how you can get involved, and you're going to want to know your roles and responsibilities. I'd number them, just for the sake of it, 1, 2 and 3, if I was going to. So what was number 1, Steve? Okay. So number 1 was how you can get involved. Was it? No? Skills you can gain. So skills you can gain from doing this. Well, what's involved in the recruitment drive? Reece, you've done a little bit of recruitment drive. What is the main skill that you start to learn?
I'd say prospecting.
Prospecting. That's not a skill, that's a job. Tell me the skill you learn by doing prospecting.
Public speaking.
Are you stood on a bucket on Speaker's Corner doing public speaking, doing prospecting? Take it back to face-to-face prospecting, not lecture shout-outs. What is the skill you learn?
Selling the information meeting and not the whole internship.
No, that's a process. Tell me the skill you learn.
Skill, face-to-face. Communication.
Which is really important for what process?
And communication.
No. Link it back to the summer. You've been a manager. You're speaking face-to-face to someone. When's that really important?
Sales.
One-on-one. Ed?
A 1-to-1.
A one-to-one, if anything, one would say. I'm not trying to patronise you folks. I'm taking you on the journey that I went on when I joined this. One-to-ones. If you are practice of face-to-face prospecting before you arrive in the summer, and you sit down and you slide into that chair and you're like, hey, and you start having your one-to-one with your person, and you're not good at it, that person is going to be sat there thinking, why did I get left with the crap team leader? Sales school's a competition, folks. It is a competition for fundraisers to be sat there thinking, I am with this guy, I am with this girl. Hell yeah. They need to feel like they're winning at something before they've even left. First thing I said to my region at sales school, you're lucky. First thing I said to my JMs when they found out they were working with me, I said, you're lucky. Then I told them I was lucky. If you're skilled at your job, you're better at it. So one-to-ones. So if you're better at face-to-face prospecting, you're good at one-to-ones. How many times do one-to-ones get used over the summer? Throw me some things out. When do you use one-to-one over the summer? Stats one-to-ones. Okay, give me another one. Chrissy.
Emotional one-to-one. Emotional.
Emotional one-to-ones. One of the really key ones that a lot of people forget. Rob.
Appraisals and reprimands.
Appraisals and reprimands if you're a senior manager. What's another one?
Pulse them out a bit.
Pulls them out a little bit. Someone mentioned door knocking. Hey, when do we use one-to-ones when we're door knocking? In the show! Oh my god, the show is just a 20-minute one-to-one. Woody, I never knew that. Wow. It's exactly the same principle. Why do you think managers tend to get better results? We've been trained in one-to-ones. Now, we're not training you in one-to-ones yet. However, prospecting, the grounding of all one-to-ones, it is the mother of all one-to-ones, because you're not sat down with someone that's like, yeah, I'm elected to be here. You're talking to a complete stranger, and what's the first thing you need to do when you're talking to a complete stranger? Jacqueline? Huh? Ooh, no. What's the first thing you need to do? What's the key? Break the stranger barrier. Do you remember that speech at sales school when I kicked the shit out of those boxes? Good. Because that is what you need to do. And that's what prospecting teaches you. It teaches you to do that powerfully and fast. Now, I'm not going to teach you how to do face-to-face prospecting now. I recommend, in the strongest possible terms, and I would base my entire reputation on this, that the people in this room who elect to get involved in face-to-face prospecting when we're on their campuses will be the best at one-to-ones over the summer. People who are good at one-to-ones breed happy people. Happy people get results. It's that simple. Now, where else? So we've covered prospecting. Where else do we practice one-to-ones in the recruitment drive? Let's go with, actually, Sophia. You've sat in on a couple of these. Where else do we practice one-to-ones in the recruitment drive?
Maybe I've done it, but I can only explain.
Okay, that's fine. What was the second part of you were prospected by? What came next? You were prelimed by. Prelims, ladies and gentlemen, are they are the second most important part of the recruitment process. First is prospecting, then there are prelims. Okay? Prelims are a fancy 10-minute one-to-one. We're going to give you the chance to be involved in that. As long as you've been heavily involved in the first step. Now, in the past, we've gone with competitions and things like that, and the point is, we're not going to this time. Not with these things. If you want to be good at this job, if you want to get prelims, you prospect. You do the same job that we do. You learn it. So what comes after the prelims? Interviews. Now, how many people in this room think their interview was tough?
Jamie's like, well, it's easy. I just said Sean's name, they just let me join.
Exactly. Now I had Robin, and I can promise you that was the hardest interview of my life. Simple truth of it is, that is a fancy one-to-one that lasts an hour. Now in the past we've only let senior managers do interviews. We're going to change it up this year. Anyone can do interviews this year. As long as they have... Can you guess it? Well, check it. Prospecting earns you prelims. What earns you interviews?
Good prelims.
Damn good prelims. I'm not going to train you in them today. So when do you think you're going to be able to get the chance to get those trainings? What are you not going to have to do if you want to be involved? If you want to build your team? You're going to have to come to the recruitment team and you're going to have to ask them, oh so nicely, because they are potentially giving away their bonus by letting you do interviews. The simple truth is, no one will be allowed to be involved if they're not of the right standard. Toya and myself are the team leaders and we will be the people judging it. And I'm going to give you some criteria to get interviews this year for anyone to have an interview that is not a full-time member of recruitment staff. Every member of the full-time team that are on those campuses need to have at least 4 interviews booked. Now that means that anything beyond that will be up for grabs only for the people that have been heavily involved in prelims, and those extra prelims will be up for grabs only for those people that have been heavily involved in the prospecting process. You are a lunatic if you don't get involved. So I've taken you through the skills you can learn. Have I mentioned a little bit about how to be involved? Yeah, I think I have. So what's the last one? The roles and responsibilities. So what was one of your roles and responsibilities? Luke. In fact, I want everyone, brand new sheet of paper, and at the top, recruitment responsibilities, R&Rs. We're going to get this written down really quickly because you all know them by now. Vicky, what is one of your... Please don't tell me you just screwed up a sheet of notes you made during my speech.
No, but from training.
What's your first R&R with recruitment, Vicky?
Shares on Facebook.
How many... What share? What do you need to do? What's an actual R&R? You need to shares on Facebook. Shares on Facebook is not an R&R. You can remember exactly what I said earlier.
Bi-weekly.
Share the bi-weekly Facebook post. Online prospecting. Okay? What was the second online responsibility? Uni specific. Share it if we're coming to your university. Yes, that is an R&R. You are a charity ambassador. You are a champions ambassador. Now, these are the optional R&Rs. And I say optional with underlined my initials next to it with you are a lunatic if you don't get involved. It's that simple. I'm not selling you into it, I'm being honest. What comes next? Prospecting. Now, of course, remember these are the optional ones. What comes after prospecting? Prelims. What comes after prelims? Interviews. Ladies and gents, you would be lunatics not to be involved in this year, because right now I am going to take £100 of my own money. Don't actually have £100, I spent that. But I am going to give £100 to someone if they run either the top team or the top region this year and they haven't been involved in the recruitment process. And I'll be honest, my money is completely safe. The only people that have ever really done well are the ones that have been involved. That is the simple, honest to God truth. If you really believe, like I believe, that this is a family, you want to grow. And instead of creating new little baby champions, because that's just not encouraged, that'll be breaking collarbones, the simple truth of it is, we need people to get involved. We need you to share it. It's a video question.
Yeah, for the latter, like three, like the main prospect and prelims, what if you're not going to the university?
We're not coming to your university. I would make like Reese Cogan. Reese Cogan came to Newcastle to be involved in the recruitment process. Sophia.
Yeah, mine was like.
Yeah, she collected people from Glasgow University. She literally went out with a big net, put them in the net, and she brought them to Stirling University to get involved. Yes, it's travelling. Yes, it's a little bit of money, but you are going to know when and where we are going to places yonks in advance. Do you know how cheap train tickets are when you buy them in advance? And there is this magical thing called the Megabus, and that is even cheaper. It's that simple. It is cheaper. I was going to find Megabus to Scotland. Right, now, am I completely clear? Don't sit together after the break. Am I completely clear on everything about recruitment? Fantastic. Folks, I'm not going to say anything else about recruitment for the end of the day. If you want to ask me more questions, you're welcome to. If you want to know any of the stats, I'm happy to give them to you. And if you want to know more about Easter and how you can 100% get your name down now and how to be involved, speak to one of us before the end of the day. Like I said, if you don't want to do Easter and you don't want to do recruitment, you are a lunatic. I'm not selling it, being honest. Now we are going to go into a little bit of a break, but to introduce the things we need to do during that time, I believe is not Toye. His eyes have just gone wide and he looks terrified. So it is now it's not a 15-minute break. You have until 40 minutes past to be sat down, back in here, ready to go for the next speech. Are there any questions? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. When you are back in the room, I want you sat next to someone that you don't really know. Okay? So it's a case of moving. You two, no.
Yours actually mine.
Yes. No. All three of you are a no.
Did you say 14 or 40?
14 minutes.